Can you show me what message you sent
So
out?
I'm
Yeah.
sure, yeah, I'll share my screen.
Hmm.
I sent a request. I believe you have to
Hmm.
accept it.
Hmm.
Okay. 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 One second.
I did.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
Uh, yeah, Akshay. I mean, again,
So,
something that I was searching for through the whole the entire message. Uh, what did you do? So I was searching for stuff like how many clients you onboarded, what kind of retention were you able to achieve, client retention, what kind of
mm,
how much churn you reduced after you worked on these clients, what's the average churn rate that you achieved. Customer success is all about that, right? Like, right, retaining clients, upselling the products. How much upsell did you, how many products did you sell them via upselling them? Yeah. So all of that. So matrix is something that I could not find. If even if I would be a
uh,
hiring manager, I would, I mean, this is boring stuff. Yeah. Uh,
uh,
Amazon taught you this, you and loved it here, all of this. Yeah. So it sounds great on a one-on-one face-to-face call for some time, not for like 30 minutes straight or something. So yeah, but for 5 minutes, it sounds good, 5, 10 minutes. But when you're, applying, you have the attention span here is very small. Hardly 5 seconds you get, 2 to 5 seconds you get, um, depending on a recruiter, to catch their attention and make them want to read the other 90% of the message. So the first two lines should be um, something that strikes interest. Explaining you the basics of sales. Yeah. So the
mm,
hook
okay.
the hook should be very important. So in the first line itself, you should mention something, some measurable KPI that you have achieved. I onboarded 35 clients in the span of this. That should be the first line. After that, you can break it down. Like this is the churn I reduced. This, I mean, it should, again, I'm not asking you to lie, but it should not be, nobody's going to go and ask Amazon if this is the actual number that you achieved or not, right? So uh,
Mm,
a ballpark data is something that you can, like an assumption, you
uh.
can
A
take like
realistic
six,
number
yeah,
should be
exactly, a
presented.
realistic number, but somewhere around something that you have achieved. Yeah. It should not be exact precise number, but again, it can be a rough number. So that gives like an
Mm,
impression that you created this actual impact. And coming from someone like who created this kind of value, I believe that you would be a valuable person for my organization as a hiring manager. So that's the mentality, and that's the mentality that you should use and apply while you're drafting the message in the first place. Um,
but I have one question here.
yeah,
Let's
please
say
go
we
ahead.
do it that way, right? But
Mhm.
so it would ideally, whatever metrics you're able to quantify for the most part. See, my experience is obviously quite limited, coming to
Mm.
specific
Mm.
numbers because most of my time was in operations and it did not involve like that much numbers, right, on a day-to-day
Yeah,
basis.
sure.
So that is one part of the reason. Now, let's say someone has more metrics to share, right? But wouldn't that again be like repeating what's already there in the resume, though? Because
Yes.
this is like a personal note you add along with the resume. So I think maybe I make the assumption that they'll anyway see the resume. If they want something that is different from the
No.
resume in this note.
Yeah, Akshay. I mean, that's where you're wrong now. I mean, the first thing that they
Hmm.
seize on well found is your message. And then if they are interested, then only they'll go ahead and open your resume to see the other stuff. So what you can do in, even if you're repeating the same thing, what you can do is out of your resume, pick like top three best lines that is creating the most impact in your entire career, even if you have like 6 8 months of within the role. Pick out
Mm.
like one line,
Okay.
even if it's one line or two lines, and don't need to write like this long message. Just write two lines in bullet points, and then say, for I've you know I've mentioned more details in my resume, go ahead and check it out. So that'll be they'll be curious to
Mm.
learn. So if yeah, if the hook is compelling, they'll go ahead and click the uh, resume. And if they want to click the resume, they have to accept the message to do that, as far as I know. So uh, yeah, that's something that you can play here. And it doesn't matter like if you have 6 months 8 months of experiences, you will always have something that you created. Even if you work there for a month, you'll still have some KPIs that you can display. So even for backend roles, I was working with, just a quick background. My first company, I worked with a BPO. I was working as a, on the back end. I was not even like working directly on support side. What I was doing is I was uh, evaluating the charts that the support guys take
Okay.
for the customers. So quality analyst, it was a backend role.
Yes, got it.
In that also, I mentioned KPIs in my resume, if you can. So even on LinkedIn, like I solved, even if that's not 100% true, I solved like 80 evaluations a day to bring down the overall campaigns performance by X% in 2 years or something.
Hmm.
Nobody is going to go out and measure like, is this data correct, if you're actually able to improve the
No,
metric
you
by
can't
that.
actually
That's not
verify
even
it.
possible. Yeah. So